just to kind of fit my agenda, because, you know, whatever. Goalkeeper, for me, it has to be Alisson. And the boys bring up perfectly good points for Hendo, Dean Henderson and Pope. But for me personally, Alisson has played less games than them and still has the same amount of clean sheets as Henderson and one less than Pope in less games. And he's been called upon less, which could be arguably going towards Henderson and Pope. But for me personally, it's harder for a goalkeeper if they're called upon less to stay focused and still make those big saves. And Alisson does that. So for me, he's been, once again, goalkeeper of the season, team of the season. Right back has to be Trent. He has 12 assists. I can't argue with that. I think the best defensive right back's been Aaron Wan-Bissaka, as I mentioned in the last video, but I can't ignore the stats that Trent's put up. Verge has to be the other centre back. Well, Verge has to be the first centre back. He hasn't had the same season he had last season, but he still has been ridiculous. He's still one of the best, if not the best, centre backs in the world. And just because he hasn't been as good as last season doesn't mean that he's not in the team of the season. He's been crazy again. Next to him, I've gone with Tarkowski from Burnley. I think it's crazy what Burnley have done this year. I can't believe that they have 11 clean sheets. And Tarkowski, I think, is kind of their main man in that back line. He's the guy who kind of leads them from the back. And I feel like because Burnley have got 11 clean sheets, Tarkowski's done an amazing job. And I'm putting him in my team of the season. Left back has to be not Trent. Wow, has to be Robbo. He has not been same as Verge. He's not been as good as he was last season, but he does still have 7 assists and 9 clean sheets, which is crazy. It's crazy numbers. It just doesn't look as impressive when you look at what Trent's doing. But Trent's been ridiculous at the moment. So I'm not going to compare him to Trent. Let's just look at it for what it is, and he has been still the best left back in the league. Now we move into CDM. Now this is where I was going to put one of my controversial picks. I was going to put Fred in there, which, you know, caused all of the controversy and drama in the video we filmed. But I have re-looked at it, and I feel like Fred is still my breakthrough player of the season, but I think it was a bit hasty to put him in my team of the season. I feel like I overlooked Ndidi, and that was a bit foolish. Ndidi has still been, I think, the better CDM this season, only just. Like, personally, it is because he has helped Leicester get into the third spot, which is impressive. And I think that because United are 5th or 6th right now, I've actually forgotten, it's been so long. Since we are not even in the top 4, I feel like it wouldn't be right to put Fred in the team of the season over Ndidi, just because their stats are very similar. And I do still think right now Ndidi is the better CDM, but it was very, very tight, and I nearly put Fred in because Kante's been playing out of position and Fabinho was injured for, I think, a month or something. So for me, those Fred and Ndidi were the 2 best CDMs in the league this year. Then we move ahead of them. I had to put KDB in. I'm going to mention him quickly and move on. There's not much needed there. He had 16 assists, ridiculous, close to beating Thierry Henry's record. Has to be in there. He's also the player of the season. Now, next to him, I've gone for Hendo from Liverpool. I was reluctant to do this. A lot of people have been giving him a lot of hate that he was kind of nominated or been in the talks for player of the season. And I do think that is a little bit too far, but I do think that Henderson doesn't receive the credit he deserves. I think he is a very basic player and he does the basics right, but I think he's crucial to that Liverpool side. He spreads the play very well. He's got the best passing range in that team, and he kind of joins things together and really helps the fullbacks do their job. So Henderson, for me, has been one of the best midfielders, and I have to put him in the team of the season. Now the front 3. Now this was really difficult for me because I'm going for a basic 4-3-3. I couldn't put both Aubameyang and Vardy in, and this was a struggle for me because I was like, how can I not put the 2 top scorers in? But it just is what it is. I'm sorry, I'm just going to have to fit players into each position, like I said. So for me personally, the best left winger in the league has been Rashford. And for me, it was because Sterling has not had the same season he had last season. He started really well and then he kind of fell off. He started with that hat-trick and then I don't know what happened. So for me, Sterling is not in there, and the only other one who can kind of come into the conversation, yeah, actually no, I think the only three that were maybe in the conversation was Rashford, Sterling, and Mane. And we already said that Sterling's out of it. Chelsea don't have anyone to put forward, Arsenal don't. Unless Aubameyang's playing on the left, but for me, he is a striker. So the three we're talking about is Sterling, Mane, and Rashford. And I think we can agree out of the three of those, Sterling had the worst season. And now when we look at Rashford and Mane, I was looking at the stats. Rashford has 14 goals, Mane has 14. Mane has got 7 assists and Rashford's got 4. So he's got 3 less assists. That being said, he's played in 4 less games. And then on top of all this, Rashford has got higher goals per match. He has got a higher shooting accuracy. He's got a higher shooting success. He's won more penalties, 4-2. He has 6 less big chances missed, which is crazy. And he also has less minutes per goal. So when you look at that, Rashford has actually been statistically a lot better than Mane, which is surprising. So for me, Rashford has been the best left winger and gets into my team of the season. Up top, I've gone with Aubameyang. I had to, based on what I said earlier. And it seems ridiculous that I pick him over Vardy since Vardy had 2 more goals in him. But my reasoning was because Aubameyang managed to get those 17 goals throughout the season. I think he was the most consistent forward in the season, and Vardy kind of had purple patches and droughts. And on top of that, Arsenal have not been anywhere near as good as Leicester. So the fact that Aubameyang's been doing what he's doing is very impressive, and he only has 2 goals less than Vardy. So for me, he's my striker of the season, forward of the season, and I'm putting him up top. Now lastly, right wing, my favorite player, the guy I don't like, Mo Salah. I have to put him in, unfortunately. I do not think right now that there is a better right winger in the league, so I have to go with Mo. His stats have still been good. They're nothing compared to that first season, and they never will be. But right now there isn't a better right winger. That is why we need to sign Jadon Sancho, so that Mo will not be in the team of the season next year. But yeah, Mo right wing, and that is my team of the season. No Fred, so you guys don't have to rage. Maybe you'll rage at Rashford, but it's fine.